What is going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Crossout. I want to start today's video by just dropping a massive thank you to my two new patrons, June and Daddy Dave. Like, we dropped the Patreon in less than a week ago, and there's already two guys backing up. Like, I'm not even 100% done like setting it up and all that stuff, and you guys are already dropping support, which is massive. So thank you so much to both of you, and if anyone is interested, there's a link down in the description. Now we have two Clan Wars videos for you today. These were two good matches. First one was versus, I don't remember the clan, but basically these guys were running a Typhoon Hover, a Pulsar Spider, a Mammoth, big Mammoth tank, whatever, and a Mandrake Harpy. The first match here, like both matches I can say already now, is matches where there was a lot of camping going, because it just due to the simple fact that they had a Mandrake, so we just took shots from the cave. They kept exposing themselves to us even though we were just hiding, so we figured we'd take the fight with them. I'm back on the Tsunami Hover. I haven't played this in Clan Wars before, actually. This is my first time, and I'm back on the Tsunamis as well. Like, I haven't really played these much either, but I felt like now would be a good time because we've played the Mandrake setup a lot, and I just want some variation. Last week was, or like earlier this week, was a Helios Hover, so now back on the Tsunami Hover. As you can see, like, the Pulsar was the guy who decided to expose himself the most, which also meant that we actually dealt so much damage to him through this brawl. Like, I landed two good cabin hits there. Lith is getting a bit beaten up, so he decides to retract here, allowing me to take some shots, and that's basically what we spent most of the first round doing, just brawling inside the cave. I'm just sitting here waiting for my cloak to come back up. Then I sneak behind Lith. Try to look out for that Pulsar or Spider again. He's hiding there to my right though, so it's a bit of a hot shot there. Lith bumps me by accident, so I sort of get thrown off and do not land my shot, which is sad. And in before the hater saying, "Oh, you can't hit your shots." Like, I honestly don't give a shit, but that is what it is. A little nice misclick there, by the way. Also really having to get used to the fact that I have my guns on individual buttons. I've never done that before when doing a Tsunami Hover, just because of the fact that if I want to land two shots right after each other, you know, that first shot actually blasts you off course and the second shot doesn't hit. I'll try to let you know when that happens, because if you don't click your mouse buttons at the exact same time, the recoil will knock you off, so the second shot doesn't hit. And I see that a lot in Clan Wars, so I don't get why people do it, but here we are, I'm doing it myself. The reason that I did it here though is because I sort of want to get used to, you know, firing one shot, rebalancing the build, and then shooting the next shot. So that's what I did. Like, I can't do it on my light hover, but this one is an icebox hover, a bit heavier with this one has 9 hovers instead of the other one, which has, I think it has 7, I don't remember exactly. It's my own build, but I still don't remember. Just trying to bait the Mandrake shots here, because we're going for a push, so I just wanted to show my ass outside, so he maybe thought that I would be pushing out from the cave. There we go, look up to see if those Mandrake shots are against me, and I cloak up and I push. We have 1:20 left, so this is about time that we push. Lith lands a good shot in the Typhoon Hover. I do too. And as you can see, he's struggling a bit to hit me here, because I think he's crippled, and then I start, you know, struggling to hit him for whatever reason. That shot, honestly, don't know what happened. Like, that was a hit on my screen. I'm just telling you, deciding to push the Mandrake just to make sure that he doesn't pressure the other guys too much until they get into the cave. And at this point, I just simply decide to back up because I'm getting a bit torn up. I have done my part and like sort of stressed the Mandrake a bit. And also, can someone explain to me how that shot did not hit? It literally must have went through his build. But nevertheless, like, the Mandrake had so much pressure on him that he couldn't focus the guys pushing caves, which meant that the other dudes just went in, took down the Pulsar Hover. Amazing. And at this point, we have 1 kill, so we just want to stay alive. The other guys are a bit beaten up. Luckily, they get the 2nd kill. So at this point, we just decide to finish them off. They didn't really realize that they were actually 2-man down, so they wanted to just hide, but I push in to go kill the Mandrake, and yeah, just the Typhoon left. He gets a nice little shot there, and he goes down in just a second, and that is it for the first round. A pretty nice round, where everybody sort of did what they were supposed to do, basically. The second game here was actually quite a bit of a struggle compared to the first one, for the simple fact that We have a Reaper Spider and we have an Aspect Spider, but they were like, you know, they were hiding in cave, which is fine. But they were so semi-AFK, and that was a bit of an issue, as you will see later on. The thing that I want to like really just say the most, if you are an Aspect or a Reaper, DPS in general, and your job is to decloak people that cloaks up and tries to push you, stay alert. Like, just be aware that people at any second will cloak up and push you. I'll let you know when this happens, but yeah, for now, just start by focusing on these lovely shots we're landing here. That was a massive hit there on Cheggy. Like, that hurt him a lot. So we basically just do the same here. We sit in caves, we brawl, we wait for our tsunamis or our cloaks to recharge, then we push out while being cloaked. I sort of was hoping for the pulsar to push out a bit more here, so I decided to peek for the Mandrake instead. Not a very good choice. I should have just gone for the Mammoth or the pulsar. So I sort of waste my cloak there, but it's all good. Like, the Mammoth shots are somewhat easy to dodge. He was hiding so well there, though. Lith made a tiny mistake here for whatever reason. I think he was just like, he didn't think that he was outside the cave. He just wanted to push up and get a shot going on them. And I tried to peek the other side to hit the Typhoon. Sadly, he didn't continue in that direction. So we just keep the brawl going here in caves, really. And it's a bit boring to watch, I know that. So let's just talk about how you guys have had a good weekend or not. It's Sunday today, and personally I'm going to watch some football soon. So really excited about that. Getting back to the gameplay here, though, action is starting to actually pop up now, just a tiny bit. Like, missing a few shots. Classic Tree Burgers. Nice hit there on his top Mammoth. Made it spark, and literally that is one hit and then it's gonna come off. So that is something we can go for, work for. What happens now here slowly, though, is that Lith actually starts to hit the pulsar pretty good. Like, he lands some really good shots on him, as you can see here in just a second when the pulsar actually decides to push again. Just seeing that Mammoth shooting. The reason that I don't like Mammoth, like here, let's just take that afterwards, but you see here, like, that tsunami or a Typhoon hover just pushed up on us and took an absolutely free hit because we had two DPSs not doing their one job of decloaking. So guys, if you play DPS, watch the map, decloak. You will put your like allies in a great danger if you don't. Missing a nice shot there on the pulsar. And here I see the pulsar burning, so I basically decide to cloak up, and instead of just keep the brawl going, I actually force a fight here. I go out the tunnel, and boom, there we go. Easy kill, because they weren't aware that I was actually going out because the brawl has just been going on inside the cave. And I quickly just take a shot at the Mandrake and go back to the caves again. So we're up one kill now, putting even more stress on them. They have a minute and a half left. I probably should have stayed behind here, but I got a little bit cocky. I just wanted them to end. And also seeing that the Typhoon pushed up, leaving out the Mammoth all alone, I actually do the same thing again. Here we go. Unfortunately, though, I flew straight into the Mammoth there, taking a bit of damage, but degunning one of his guns from him as I push out there, which is nice. That second gun, though, that was a bit of a struggle. I think the reason they didn't go off in those shots were because I actually hit the I hit his tracks, and then you saw, by the way, that is what I'm talking about. You saw how that one gun shot a little bit before the second one, so the second shot actually flew over him and not killing him. But I decided to turn for the Mandrake just to sort of clear the caves for my dudes. For some reason I don't kill him. I think I hit his Mandrake instead of his cabin. And like, the reason I didn't degun the Mammoth, I know a lot of shit is happening right now, but the reason that I didn't degun the Mammoth is because I hit his tracks instead of dealing direct hits on his Mammoths. But nevertheless, we end them off there. Pretty solid game, 4 kills, 2600 points. Happy about that performance, and on to the second game. Now the second game is versus Czech Battle Team. These guys are super high rated. I don't know why we keep on meeting them, because we're like something 170 or something. These guys are playing for top 50 every freaking week, but we keep on meeting them. They run a different setup from what they usually do. They usually play 3 tsunamis and 1... No, they don't. They play full aspect teams mostly when we meet them, but this time they play 3 tsunamis and 1 aspect. And this aspect is a bit of weird compared to what we usually see. He actually has 4 aspects and nothing else. So that is something different from what you usually see with aspects. It's interesting indeed, because 4 aspects can deal a lot of damage. The first match was super good. Like, that was such a funny match. We really enjoyed it while we were playing it. We had a good brawl going in the beginning. As you can see here, we're just facing off, dealing some good hits. Hit one on the aspect and one on the tsunami there, pushing up. Not landing all of my shots right now, but like, we're winning the trades. I haven't taken a single hit yet, so we definitely won the trades that we were a part of so far. Just waiting for that aspect to push around the corner, landing a good hit on him again, and deciding to just push him a bit to make sure that we get the most damage out of it as we are pushing. Still trying to stay a bit behind, as I am a hover and I don't want to get too crippled early on in the game. And as you can see here, I'm actually remembering to just fire 1 gun at a time to make sure that that recoil will not throw me off entirely. And ending off the aspect spider here, which is nice. So we decided to just push for that cap, because at this point we have such a bit lead on them to the cap, so we can actually cap a point before they even get down here. Roar for some reason decides to split from the team, so he gets caught up by the enemy team, getting him killed. So we just focus on actually getting that 1 point and trying to make sure that we at least get 1 point, so we can sort of pull off and fall back a bit and see if we can make them panic and split up. Just trying to land shots there, forcing a bit pressure on them. Didn't expect to hit any, as they had the high ground there, hiding behind the high ground. But it's nice to just put some pressure on them. Then I went for the high ground there, or the hill, to sort of level out the high ground advantage for them. They pushed down to cabin. Nice hit there on Hoda, or not Hoda, I don't remember his name, the guy that I hit. But nevertheless, he went down from that because he took so much cabin damage, which was awesome. And then we basically just have 2 guys pushing in on cap here, so we decide to fall back a bit, get the cover advantage again, see if we can pick someone out. And still, like, a pretty good trade there. Nice hits on his gun. Lith pushing right, so I decided to push left, basically, and swarm them a bit. And again, as you saw that the second shot actually flew over him, because the recoil knocked my builds out of position, so to say. I wait with my shots here on Gumak, because Gumak turned his side to me. I wanted to wait and see if he actually wanted to face me, because if he wanted to face me, then I would have taken the shot in his cabin instead of his guns. Because he didn't, I waited with the last second before I shot at him, to make sure that I would shoot at him and he couldn't shoot at me. But that's a win on the first round. A very, very nice and well played round by everyone, and a very good fight. Like, Czech Battle Team, they put up some good fights, and every time I have a recording with them, I want to post it, because the fights are just so good and they're so even. Like, it's exciting all the freaking time to watch. The second match here, we sort of do the same again. We stay a bit more defensive this time, but still just making sure to land some good trades. Not a very good trade, the first one, 223 damage. He didn't hit me though, so you could say that I won the trade still. We take the first cover here. It's like, the first cover is pretty classic when you brawl, especially if they outnumber us on tsunamis. So they definitely have the brawl advantage here on the long range. We tell our DPSs to just wait for them, because they have to push in. So we just want to trade and not take too much damage from them. And let's see, still just trying to push up here. Gumax decides that he sees that I cloak, so he decides to start decloaking. Luckily, I get a very good hit on him, and lucky for me, like, Gumak misses his shots. He rarely does that, so yeah, that was pretty lucky for me. Here I get my back hovers caught sort of on the ledge there, which meaning that I get semi-stuck. A bit annoying is what it is. Lith pushes up to the second cover here, so I decided to push up to the high ground to see if I can actually get a better position on them. Again, they see that I cloak. He doesn't expect me to go up that ramp though, so I get a free pass up there, getting up there. Like, Hanels doesn't get me decloak, which is nice. And there we go, Lith lands. I don't know how he did that, but for some reason he actually landed a shot where Hanels' generator just blows up and pretty much immobilizes him. Like, he lost so much stuff from that. I think he dealt 1k cabin damage or something in that shot. So something happened to Hanels' build. I don't know what, but definitely a very, very well played shot. Also meaning that these guys are now one guy down. I decide to, since the tsunamis are hiding this much, I just decide to try to push Hainels and see if I can actually finish him. Because if we can finish him, we would have the numbers on them. Actually having three persons versus 4 is a big stress factor if they are already down 1 person. So they decide to play more aggressively now, which is fine. I tank some shots. This build can actually tank shots for ages. Like I'm trying to be some next level hate player here with with one of their builds. Sadly, I don't have the money to buy 15 what are they called, radars. So I made my own budget version, non-spaced armor thing. I have 3 neon senses on it. That's all. Rest of them is just basic armor parts. So, and this thing actually still does quite good. I'm pretty impressed about it. Let's just say that. So until I get a shit ton of money to actually build a proper spaced armor with 20 radars and also like merged fused hovers and a fused cabin and all that stuff, I'll stick with what I have, which is fine. Like, it's fine. This build has been doing pretty good in the matches that we have played. But we still just keeping the brawl going here, to be honest. It's hard for Czech battle team at this point since Hainels got pretty much immobilized from that one shot. So we just keep the pressure on them. It's 1 minute and 30 left and the dudes decide to somewhat push in on us. And at that point, it's gonna be hard for them because our 2 DPS is still full structure. They haven't really brawled at all, so they're still doing good. Just doing a bit decloaking on either side if they decide to try to push us, which is fine. And we just, yeah, wait it out at this point. Now here, as you can see, Lith actually lands a kill on Gumak. I think he was sitting on the hill on the right. Some really good shots made him take a lot of damage. I should have been way more offensive on this one, but I didn't want to risk anything. I could have pushed up much more than I did, but I just wanted to stay out there and wait to see what they were actually gonna do, because we had the fight in our hands, so no reason not to. And at this point, I just wanted to kill. I really just wanted to kill. I got a bit greedy there, trying to push Hainels just to end him off. Decide that's probably not a good idea, so I go for Hoda instead. While the DPS is also on him, try to land as much damage on him as possible. And yeah, that is it. It's a wrap for the second game. Time runs out here. We have the kill, so we have the upper hand. We win this one. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another episode of Clan Wars. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And until next time, bye.